Hello and welcome into tonight's race in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. Week number 1 of the playoffs. They got a chase system here. And we're here, of course, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. I'm here joined, per usual, here on Wednesday nights with my buddy Christian Taylor. Christian, say hello to the people.
Hello, people. Here looking for some great action here at Charlotte. And Jesse, you mentioned the chase style format. So you mean my favorite driver isn't going to be eliminated when it comes down to one winner-take-all race?
Exactly. Somebody's going to have to be consistent over a good number of races. It's not going to come down to just one race. It's pretty refreshing, honestly.
Absolutely. I'm interested any day now. We should be getting the announcement from the NASCAR Cup Series. And we're going to be finding out what their new format's going to be. Hopefully, something similar to this. But you know what, Jesse? No matter what they announce, someone's going to complain.
Yeah, that's what people are good at, is complaining. But, you know, hopefully something that no one complains about is if you look over on the ticker there on the tower on the left-hand side, I've got all the playoff drivers highlighted for you folks at home. They're in the green, so you can keep an eye on what's going on specifically with the playoff drivers. If you got your eye on a certain driver, as we watch Chad White, top of the board now. He's finishing up his second lap. Let's see if he improved his time at all, or if he's going to be quicker on the first lap. And it looks like he was faster lap number 2.
Chad White, I hear he finished second last night in the Indy cars. Lost it on the final lap. Must be gutting for him, but it's not gutting for us. We're used to the disappointment.
Yeah, it's becoming a normal thing, I guess, over there for old Chad. Something keeping him away from these wins lately. But somebody who hasn't had trouble with that, there isn't the driver in the 98, Sam Brochu. He's on a 3-peat right now, looking to make it number 4. He's finishing up lap number 2, currently second on the board. Let's see if he can improve.
Gotta keep an eye on him. He does. Brings it to the top.
Yeah, top of the board for the driver out of Charlotte. Mark Whitley in the 77, of course, he was last week coming into the race. I think he was about 6th in points. He thought he was a sure shoo-in for the playoffs, but if you notice, his name is not green. He had a wreck early, and that was enough to take him out of playoff contention. So, the 77, as much talent as he has, he's going to be missing the playoffs. As we take a look at Joey Lattiser here in the 23, he's starting his second lap. And Christian, out of these playoff drivers, I think a very obvious person to keep your eye on is going to be Sam Brochu. But is there anybody else that may have snuck their way in, or somebody you're looking forward to seeing how they can do during the playoffs? See if somebody can sneak up out of nowhere this playoffs?
You know, with the 3-peat going on and some other, penalties that were at bay, I feel like I can't say a shoe-in battle other than Brochu taking this thing home. It's going to be kind of shocking to see if anyone can get near him.
Yeah, and as this qualifying continues on, I can show the folks at home what our current playoff standings are. I know Christian's not able to see it, so I'm going to tell it to him out loud here. Brochu is number 1. Ricky Springer is in second, down 4 points. But you mentioned something about penalties. You can fill the fans in at home. The reason we mentioned penalties, what happened with Springer last week?
Alrighty, so ladies and gentlemen, due to a post-race incident, apparently he went after the race and told somebody he wasn't happy about the race, gave him a little bit of a love tap. Well, the league officials did not take too kindly to that, so there has been a penalty. He's been docked 5 points and suspended from tonight's race.
Which is absolutely huge. I mean, we've talked to these last couple weeks, like week after week, about how it's going to come down between Sam Brochu and Ricky Springer. And I tell you what, Sam Brochu is getting a heck of a head start. So it's going to be interesting to see if Springer can even catch up to him. But the other names here in the playoff picture, you've got Garrett Grant 10 points back. Jason Dalton's back 14. Tristan Lattiser is back 16 along with Matt Telder. Justin Bonner, Ed Robertson 20 points back. Ben Pierce 24 back. Colin Fambro and Diego Sainz 26 points back. And our boy Chad White, he is 30 points back, trying to find his way forward in these playoffs. With that being said, we have got our favorite moment of the night here. One of the many favorite moments. And I'm going to make sure that Christian here is ready to do some grid walking here.
I'm ready.
All right, let's get down to it. Turn the music up for the folks at home. Hopefully y'all can hear it. I can barely hear it on my end. There it is. That sounds better. Let's get this grid going here, folks. GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series, week number 1 here of the playoffs, and here is your starting lineup. On the front row, taking the pole spot, a familiar face up front, the 98 of Sam Brochu. To his outside will be the 77 of Mark Whitley.
Moving on back to row number 2, you find the 99 Diego Sainz. To his outside, Tristan Ladusa in the 92.
Row number 3 has the 9 Justin Bondurant, a.k.a. Bondo, and the 88 of Chad White, a.k.a. soon-to-be jobless.
And moving on back to row number 4, you find Colin Fambro in the 4 from Team Force Racing. To his outside, Ed Robinson in the 64.
Row number 5 brings you the 5 Garrett Grant. To his outside, the 2 of Jason Dalton.
Moving back to row number 6, you find Brian Stuffin in the 26 and Ben Paris in the 14, also from Team Force Racing. To his outside.
Row number 7 has the 52 of Tyler Hallman and the 50 of Jared Ray Hutton.
Row number 8, you find Forrest Smith in the 15 machine and Logan Smith in the 34.
No relation between those two. And we go to row 9 to the 91, Dylan Rosenberg. To his outside, the 19 of Cedric Ingram.
Row number 10, you find Matt Tilder in the 11 and Joey Ladusa in the 23.
Row number 11 brings us the 41, Lucas Strayer, along with the 1 of Steve Tucker.
Pardon me, my stuff's all messed up. Moving back to row number 12, we find Keith Callahan in the 32 and Will Martin in the 37.
Row number 13 is the 33 of Robert Lukens and the 86, Caleb Fosnot. And that looks like it'll wrap the field up.
Yeah, there is no row number 14.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Christian's tripping trying to start a row 14 that isn't there. Let's get the music off because we are about to get serious. For the first time tonight, we're about to watch the green flag fly here in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series to kick off these playoffs. Are you excited, Christian?
I'm excited as can be. The pace car is off. The field is set. Green flag in the air here at Charlotte. Sam Brochu leads the way with Mark Whitley on the outside. Going to get the edge. Heading through the triangle, Mark Whitley's going to pull out front ever so slightly, but Sam Brochu is not going to be denied and fighting back on the inside.
Yeah, it could be a good battle here between these two. Early, Diego Sainz in that 99 making a name for himself, too. He's on that bottom lane. He's giving a shove to Brochu down the backstretch.
There's some tight-knit racing here, especially on the bottom side. You got cars nose to tail to nose to tail. And Mark Whitley's going to poke his head into the top side again, battling for your race lead with the 98 of Sam Brochu.
Yeah, Whitley's definitely giving it his best shot on the outside there. Driver out of Wilmington, North Carolina. As mentioned before, we know he's got talent. We know he's fast, and he would have certainly been a playoff driver had it not been an early wreck for the 77 last week. So it's got to be painful for him to look at that tower and see his name not colored in green there as the rest of the top 10 is.
And painful indeed, as he's going to be poking his head out even further. Is he going to be able to clear Sam Brochu here in the early laps of Charlotte? Not just yet. Well, somebody, though, stalking them like the predator for the prey is the 99 of Diego Sainz. Hanging back, just waiting for a mistake from the two leaders.
I gotta say, we haven't turned away from this battle yet. It's kind of amazing to see these drivers side by side racing each other so hard, and they're still able to pull away from the drivers behind. Usually it allows the people farther back to kind of catch up when people get side by side, but these two guys don't care. They're leaving the field regardless, although it looks like Brochu may finally have the pass made here, and he does.
That's right. Brochu, we know, is good at it. I hope Mark Whitley is saving some tires for the longer run here. Don't have stages to break it up, so.
That is a bit of a talking point. Whitley, of course, we don't have a GLSR radioactive or anything, but if we did, there would certainly be some frustrations out of the 77 of Whitley. He doesn't have it. He doesn't really enjoy how these things drive. If I can find it for you here, we can tell you exactly how he feels. Give me just 1 second.
Careful there, Jesse. Make sure you don't hit the wrong button. I know what you're doing.
I know. I got to figure out which one of these it is. Here it is, folks. This is not radio from Mark Whitley, but it's basically what he was saying.
I'm still not a very big fan of these things. I can't stand to drive them. They suck.
All right, you heard Kyle Busch there. It's a good thing Jesse didn't press any from Kurt Busch, because that would have been a different story.
Yeah, Kurt has some of those that we can't play on air, but Brochu, he's making his way to the lead. Whitley falls into second. Tristan Lattiser's made his way to third. Diego Sainz in fourth. Chad White in fifth. And while we're thinking about it, folks, I see him there in the chat. Connor Gerard in the chat, as always, but Brantley Roden from Harpoon Designs also in the chat. He's piloting our Harpoon Design blimp. Take a look at that beautiful shot there of Charlotte Motor Speedway way up in the sky. Much thanks to Brantley Roden for supplying the Harpoon Design blimp after the HMS TV blimp died in a fiery explosion.
Absolutely. A Gen 4 car actually left the track and hit the old blimp, and Brantley Roden stepped up and said, you know what, guys? I got you. Now the beautiful jet-powered Harpoon Design blimp up in the sky. It's just a spectacle. You have to see in person. Let me keep it together. Yeah. Ooh, okay. It's a spectacle. You have to see it. You got to see in person to believe. And also, speaking of believing, believe that you can head on over to harpoondesign.com right now. Place your order for your NASCAR or even dirt cars. Paints over there, and have the #1 painter on Trading Paints provide you with your paint for starting at only $25.
That's an incredible deal there. Make sure to check it out, folks. 9 laps into this thing, we've got a bit of a battle here for a third. I mean, Tristan Lattiser in 92, he's made his way up into second, and Diego Sainz, that 99, is trying to get by that 77. Do you think these guys have found the speed? Or is the 77 just trying to save tires? Did he hear you talk about his tire saving and he's trying to do it now?
Well, I promise you, I'm not the one to give advice about tire saving. Even though I did a decent job at Dover this last week, I do say so myself. But, however, you know, you learn the same lesson over and over again. Eventually, you're going to be the one to figure it out. And I think that's hopefully what's happening here.
Could be the case. Let's drop back, and there's contact actually right as we go to it between the 1 at Tucker and the 11, I believe, Matt Telder. I saw it was a close battle on my screen, and as soon as I went to it, they had some contact there out of turns 3 and 4. Not sure who was the initiating driver of that, but it looks like it settled out pretty quickly. Hopefully no one with hard feelings. As you can see, Steve Tucker's picture there of Kermit the Frog lifting up a trophy. I heard that Tucker recently acquired a trophy of his own.
That's right, Steve Tucker, your MCR champion over in the GTD, what do they call it? GTD class. Excuse me.
There you go. Third time's the charm.
Absolutely. And I need to silence my phone. Sorry if you've heard Kendrick Lamar giving a concert in the background. That's my text tone, is they not like us.
Yeah, they certainly are not. As you see Steve Tucker trying to find his way by the 11 again. Finding his way around the high side this time. Looks like he's going to be able to get through cleanly. The 11 at Telder, I believe, and yes, I am correct. He is your farthest back playoff driver in the field right now in that 11 truck. You can tell the playoff drivers apart because they have the green and white banners as opposed to the green and black ones. Unless you are Garrett Grant, which yours is red and white because you are special.
Well, I know there was some issues in the chat beforehand about the colors of the banners. I'm sure everybody will get them rounded out for next week, though. But we're on lap 14 of 100 here at Charlotte. And also, I will say, ladies and gentlemen, Hutchinson Motorsports TV is, what do we call it? Co-broadcasting side by side? I don't know what you want to say. Wait, what is it, Jesse?
I usually just go with multi-streaming or something like that.
Alrighty. Sure, multi-streaming. Blake Hutchinson is live over at Michigan in the Petit Engineering 200 over there, the Superstar ARCA Cup Series. You got Monex over there in the 21. Don't ask me his first name. I can't tell you. But he's over there leading the race with Samuel Hoff in second, trying to chase him down. It's Daniel Monex.
Was that second name you mentioned? Was that Samuel Van Hoff? Was that who I heard?
That is Samuel Van Hoff, the road course ringer over there. Ladies and gentlemen, if Sam Hoff is in a road course, he's going to dominate because we cannot confirm or deny that Shane Van Gisbergen drives for him on those.
Yeah, it is definitely a questionable matter for sure. He definitely won that race in a dominant fashion. But anyways, Michigan, I'm sure, is a whole different can of worms. It's probably like driving at Daytona in those new ARCA cars.
Absolutely it is, especially as drafty as they are. But ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Becker going to continue to bring you the action here at Charlotte. You're going to hear Christian Taylor warp on over to Michigan to do a check-in. I will be back soon.
All right, be safe. I'm sure it's an easier trip than the cross-country stuff you were pulling last week.
Yeah, it kind of hurts just the same for my body to be atomized into, millions of little bits and then put back together on the other side. It's actually very excruciating.
Well, I'll add an extra little prayer for you tonight, okay?
Absolutely. Be back, ladies and gentlemen.
It's just amazing the work Christian Taylor puts in for HMS TV. Literally vanishing into thin air and reappearing in a completely different location just to make sure that he can call all the action, even when we've got multiple races going on. But while we are here at Charlotte, lap 19 of 100, Sam Broshus led the way the whole time. But let's go ahead and see who's made their way through the field. Your biggest mover, aka your HMS TV hard charger at the current moment, he's in a world of his own. Steve Tucker in this one machine right here. He's up 7 spots. He's back in 15th. He's made his way, as you can see on your screen now. He started in 22nd, currently 15th, and he's working on 14th right now. He's got the 26th there, Brian Sutphin, in front of him. Forrest Smith also up 4 spots. Tyler Hallman 3, along with Matt Telder and Keith Calhoun. As I glance through the field, your closest battle back here is getting dangerously close to the Hutchinson Motorsports TV battle for last. You've got the 23 of Joey Ladisser sitting there in the 22nd spot. He was just battling with the 37 of Will Martin, but you go farther back than that. You've got the 34 of Logan Fastician. He started 16th. He's down 7 spots. He's in 23rd. I'm not sure what happened to the 34. Actually, we might have a record of it here. Let's see if we can go back and take a look from the Harpoon Designs chopper cam here. What happened to the 34 Logan Fastician? This is way back on lap 7, folks. Oh my, he just got kind of run over there. I'm not sure who that was, but he did a good job of not getting into pit road accidentally there. What a save from the 34, but that explains why he's almost in dead last. I'm not going to talk too much more crap about the 34. It's a little bit out of his control. About to be lap number 23 out of 100 here in the 77. Whitley's drifting that thing in the background, keeping it straight. He's coming up into traffic. He's still sliding away. Holy smokes. I got to go back. We're going to stay green, folks, but we're going to hit this rewind button. We got to back this thing up. What in the world? Was there contact? Or did he just get loose? What happened here? Apologies if you hear the dog in the background. Yeah, he just got into the wall a little bit, and he had to throw that thing sideways. That was a hell of a save by the 77. I'm sure in his head he's punching. I'm sure he's punching in the air right now. The 77, as mentioned, famously having issues with this new truck. Can't stand to drive them. They suck. But he can drive them real well, even if he hates it, because that was an incredible save. But as we're a quarter of the way through this race, we've been clean and green so far. Sam Brochus led 22 out of the 25 laps so far tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fastest 5 right now. The last 5 laps, Ben Pierce back in 13th, the quickest driver in the field over the last 5 laps, with Jason Dalton, Diego Sainz, Sam Brochu, Matt Tilder also making that list. So those are your guys moving up through the field right now. Your playoff drivers making up the top 7. But folks, we're a quarter of the way through this thing, and as I said, it stayed clean and green. 14 people watching. Make sure you hit that like button for us, please. It helps the algorithm get this stream out to more people. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Tell us in the chat who you're rooting for out of these playoff drivers to bring home the championship. Go ahead and show your support for your favorite people. But we're going to go ahead and take our first break of the night here on HMS TV. Stay tuned for more action from Charlotte on the other side. Back here with you live, Charlotte Motor Speedway in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series, and we've got a heck of a battle here for 7th through 10th. Jason Dalton, Mark Whitley, Justin Bondurant, Ben Pierce, all right here side by side. Chad White there behind in the 88 truck. All jockeying for position. We watched, during the break, we watched the 99 there of Diego Sainz take over the race lead. And he's extending the lead now on Sam Brochu. Driver out of Richmond, Texas, with a strong start to tonight's race. Sam Brochu continues to be in second. Colin Fambro has made his way up to third. Driver from Concord, North Carolina. He's got, I believe, a couple of wins on the season. Let's go ahead, take a look at the GLSR standings here, and we can tell you exactly how many wins these drivers have. Sam Brochu, of course, 5 wins on the season. Ricky Springer with 2 wins. He was out of the race tonight. Colin Fambro with only 1 win on the season. I believe it was at Dover. Look at your battle for 9th between Ben Pierce and Justin Bondurant. Bondurant, Las Vegas, Nevada native. One of our playoff drivers, as well as the 14 of Ben Pierce. Our playoff drivers are grouped up right now. You've got playoff drivers 1 through 6. And then you got playoff drivers 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. The only one missing on the track will be Ricky Springer. As we mentioned before, he is suspended for this week after some post-race contact last week. But other than that, Mark Whitley in the 77, the only truck to throw a wrench in things. Otherwise, it'd be a complete playoff driver top 11. We'll continue to keep an eye on that battle as we take a look at an update on our biggest gainers. Matt Telder now holding that top spot. Up 7 spots. Garrett Grant up 5. Colin Fambro has made his way up 4, as mentioned before. Ben Pierce up 3, as well as Will Martin.
Well, Christian Taylor back here to Charlotte. Just got back from good old Michigan, where Daniel Modex is putting on a clinic over there. He's basically untouchable. They're on lap 58 of 100. He's practically got it in the bag as long as nothing crazy happens. But, Jesse, I'm sure I didn't miss anything entertaining over here. They seem to be still clean and green, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. No incidents really to speak of. Of course, you see on your screen right now, these guys are getting a little squirrely. So I'm beginning to think tires are certainly starting to fall off, and we're just now starting to see a few people down pit road as the 23 of Joey Ladisher, pretty much the first person to kind of start out this pit cycle. So I'm thinking this could be a one-stop race if this thing stays green. What do you think?
Well, it is lap 43. We haven't quite made it to 50 yet. So, I mean, there is still, if you pit now, you're going to have to come back. If you think you're running out now, you're going to be running out by the end.
Well, I'm just wondering if they're going to have enough to make it to the end now, and they're just trying to short pit compared to everybody else, because either 32 of Calhoun makes his way in now. Joey Ladisher merging his way onto the backstretch. We'll have to see how this pays off for these guys. I'm betting that they're good on the fuel window now, but they're the only ones that are willing to kind of short pit this thing to try to get some extra track position.
That's right. We got a battle for second on the track. Colin Fambro going to be side by side with Sam Brochu, who's trying to hold off his second position.
Yeah, we were thinking at the beginning of this thing that Brochu was kind of going to run away with it because we know how fast that 98 truck is, but Diego Sainz did a pretty good job of reeling him in, if I'm being honest, and now you see that Colin Fambro is making his way up towards the front of the field. Fambro with a good run recently, and of course, as mentioned before, he's got a win on the season at Dover, so the 4 truck He's looking to shake things up here in these playoffs.
He is, however, I feel like the 98's just out there toying with him. I know he's better than this, so I have a feeling he's just holding back, playing games similar to your buddy, what he used to do. Good old Maverick Davis, you know.
Yeah, you might be onto something, and for those who are interested, you might be able to see that name pretty soon, also on Wednesday nights, but in the Superstar ARCA Cup Series. I'm sure that Maverick is not going to be in the West Series for long, so we'll have to stay tuned to see how that situation pans out. I feel like this race just started. We've been in this race session now for 24 minutes, and we're already almost halfway through this race.
Absolutely. A good old story about Maverick Davis is I once raced a race with him at Iowa, I believe it was, and I thought I did pretty good. He only lapped me twice.
That's not bad. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
All things considered, that's honestly pretty good.
Absolutely. I mean, he did lap the entire field once, so, you know, I was one lap down to the rest of the field, but we're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll leave that part out.
But nonetheless, lap 48, we're just too shy of halfway here tonight in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series.
I will say there was one thing that you missed. The fans at home did see it. I was wondering why HMS TV team driver Logan Feshtitian was back here battling and scrapping and clawing for the HMS TV Battle for Last award. And it just so happens that he didn't do it alone. He had some help. Somebody gave him a good old slap in the butt through the tri-oval and sent him through the grass almost onto pit road. But the 34 was able to save it and not end up with that penalty for speeding on pit road.
You know what Logan's problem is tonight? His mind is not in his race truck. His mind is sitting in his driveway back at home in that red, I would say beautiful, but it ain't, red Mustang, you know, with the rag top. He's just thinking of being on a drive, stalling the transmission every few miles. That's what's he got in his mind.
Well, and you know what I have on my mind is, for the folks at home that don't know, today was mine and my wife's 4th anniversary of being married together. So we went and had a nice dinner. I ate probably way too much. Thankfully, I've been able to hold it together throughout this stream. But it was a good night, and I can't believe it's been 4 years already. The 92 coming in hot to pit road.
Yeah, definitely so. 4 years ago today, I was playing DJ at Jesse's wedding. What a time that was.
That was a good time. I had hair back then, too. It was pretty cool.
It was already going away. You had bald spots. Now you're just got one big bald spot.
You're not kidding. I'll tell you one thing I've noticed is these drivers continue to start this pit cycle here. Everybody seemed to, as the run went on, everybody seemed to kind of migrate to the top of the track. And holy smokes, pit road is busy. I feel like everybody else is going to come in here soon, but yeah, I mean, everybody's starting to migrate up the track as the tires get a little bit older. They must feel that it's a little bit faster up there. So it's kind of interesting to see if there's a lot of people that might try to stick to the lower line and save some tires compared to those who are just going to send it. As you see everybody else coming down now, Matt Telder, Chad White make their way down. That's going to leave Colin Fambro coming off pit road to lose the lead now to the 98 of Sam Brochu. He's going to take it back over as he comes back around here, and he's got a pretty good lead on the car in second there, Garrett Cramp.
Looking like a pretty good performance here tonight so far. One thing about we both know, me and you, Jesse, about the pit exit at Charlotte is it is very smooth, not bumpy at all, right, Jesse?
Yeah, we'll go with that. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the pit road that tries to kill you every time you leave it. There's such a big bump. I'm pretty sure that you end up on two tires at some points going through it off of pit road. So I want to say it looks like everybody's made it through clean so far, but it's definitely one of those tracks where you can have the ultra embarrassing moment of spinning off of pit road, coming back on the track, and killing some innocent drivers trying to pass by.
We've seen it happen at Charlotte, me and you, Jesse. No need to go talking about the league, but when somebody spun up in front of the entire field, they were restarting and they were coming out of pits.
It was definitely not
good
a
times.
good look. It was probably one of the more interesting things that I've happened to see in person for sure.
Yep, something I don't want to live through again.
I can't blame you one bit. I gotta tell you, Christian, this race, it needs a good shakeup in my opinion. We like to see clean and green, green flag racing, but there just isn't a whole lot going on right now. Everybody's kind of getting spread out. Maybe as the run goes on and these guys start to push it a little bit more, we might see some more action as the tires get worn. But I think we're just kind of along for the ride right now.
Speaking of along for the ride, Sam Brochu, your race leader, is just walking away from the field. I told you he was toying with him, and that he was, ladies and gentlemen. He's driving away now.
Lead up to almost 2 seconds over Garrett Grant, 1.86 current math there on the gap. And let's hop on board with the 5 of Grant, just so you can kind of see how far of a gap that is. It doesn't sound like a whole lot, but I mean, you can't even see the 98 behind the mirror there. I'm assuming he's behind the mirror. He might even be farther ahead than that. He is, actually.
That's right. On board with Garrett Grant.
Grant, of course, with the red banners. The only driver to be wearing such banners on his truck. Hopefully he has it figured out next week. Although I do not believe it's any fault of his own.
Well, when the file's red, sometimes it just ends up that way.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, but let's go ahead and pull it up on the screen. I don't think we've done it tonight. Let's go ahead and check out the HMS TV battle board. We've got a hot one for P11 between Justin Bonnarant and Tyler Hallman.
Oh, wow, side by side he's on his bumper through the tri-over, pushing him through.
Yeah, they were able to get
It's the
Tyler
9.
Hallman, and then now you've got the 9 of Bonnarant and the 2 of Jason Dalton scrapping it up for the 10th spot.
Yep, as the 9's going to try to slide up the track. No, 2 is going to be there. He's going to have to maintain that low line. Heading down the backstretch, going into 3. The 9 of Justin Bonnarant's going to poke his nose out of the way and slide up in front of the 2 of Jason Dalton, excuse me.
Yeah, nice clean pass there by him. As we go ahead, we'll also take a look at the fastest 5 for 5. The HMS TV last 5 laps leaderboard is the 77 of Mark Whitley. Top of the board on that with Diego Sainz, Ed Robertson, Colin Fambro, and I don't know if I'm reading that correctly. Is that at the bottom? Does that say Logan Festitian is one of the fastest trucks out there?
I think it does, but it's got to be a mistake.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like it could be correct at all. I'm going to shut this off. That something's wrong. We'll try to get that figured out. But in the meantime, we'll go ahead and take a look at the man in second, Garrett Grant. He's starting to get some pressure now behind him. The Colin Fambro in the 4. He's quick right now, and he's only about 2/10 behind Garrett Grant there in second. He's reeling him in a little bit there, as you can see.
Under pressure. Boom, 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 boom.
Well, keep your day job there, bud. I appreciate the effort, though.
Absolutely is. Apparently, I'm not going to have a singing career.
I just switched it over to the one of Steve Tucker because I just got a report that he went off the track. Let's see if we can see what happened to the one truck here.
Oh. Give it a whirl. Gonna cut the grass a little bit, but we'll let Steve know that it is turf here at the infield of Charlotte. I've actually had the privilege of standing in the infield or the infield grass of Charlotte. It's like 1 inch deep of rubber within the turf. It's quite weird.
I can imagine that's a weird feeling. It's always been kind of weird to drive on, in my opinion. I believe when you're doing the Charlotte Roval, sometimes it's faster coming into that final little chicane there to have your tires off in the quote-unquote turf. Sometimes you can get more grip and take a wider angle without having a chance to slide in the tires like you would if it was actually grass.
Yeah, a lot of the faster guys taking advantage of that. So watch Diego Sainz on the screen now.
Getting the pass for fifth done over Tristan Lattiser. Or I'm sorry, he's trying to actually pass the 64 of Ed Robertson. That's my mistake there. Got the names mixed up on the leaderboard. Lattiser farther back there. He's getting pressured by Mark Whitley now, as you can see, a side-by-side action between those two.
Yep, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to apologize if I say a name or two wrong. My monitor tonight that Jesse's internet service provided me is a 1996 Samsung Tube monitor. I mean, this thing's literally buzzing when I turn it on.
Do you have to give it a few seconds for it to warm up? Is that what we're talking?
Yep, it literally took it, I think, a minute for the image to finally render in.
Now, Christian, I want you to do me a favor and just think back a little bit in your lifetime. Think back to when, let's go, Grand Theft Auto 6 is the big rumored thing right now. Let's think back in our minds to when Grand Theft Auto 4 came out. Didn't you think at that time, weren't you like, wow, these graphics are unreal?
Yeah, GTA 4, my poor grandmother took me to GameStop, and I said, yeah, this is the game I want. And she said, this game, is it a good game? I'm like, oh, yeah. She says, is it clean? I was like, yes, ma'am, clean. I took it home and put it in my PlayStation, and let me tell you, I thought the graphics were amazing. And we can't say it on stream, but I can tell you what anybody does the first time they get GTA, the place that they go to first on GTA. Well, Grandma walked in the room.
Oh, boy. I bet you had some explaining to do there.
Absolutely. Grandma had an aneurysm.
Poor Grandma. But I just got to say, you think back and you remember thinking, like, man, these graphics are so crazy. And then I remember when GTA 5 came out on the PlayStation 3 and going, oh my gosh, like, nothing's going to beat this. And now, honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do if GTA 6 ever does come out. I'm sure it's going to look absolutely incredible, and my PC is going to be absolutely crying.
Well, absolutely. But, we got GTA 5 on the PS3. Thought it was amazing. Then you got GTA 5 on the PS4. It was pretty good. Then I got it on PC finally, and even better. Then I got it on the PS5, and I truly own 4 copies of GTA 5, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
I think it's funny how they kind of went from 4 games every console to 4 consoles for 1 game. It's kind of backwards.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just something that I'm sure we'll have 5 consoles in the generation of GTA 6. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I have a wild take when it comes to consoles. Get rid of them. We need to kill the console gaming generation.
We'll have to hear a little bit more on that coming up soon, but I'm thinking we might have ourselves a battle for the lead on our hands here in just a few moments. Colin Fambro, he's reeling in Sam Brochu right now. Let's go ahead and we'll show you on the screen his last lap compared to Sam Brochu, and he was a whole 0.2 quicker that time. He was even more quick the last time around. I think he gained about 0.4 on Brochu.
This is definitely going to be something coming down to the wire with 29 laps to go here in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. You have the Mobile One Toyota of Colin Fanbro chasing down the Valvoline. HendrickCars.com, number 98. Kind of weird to see Hendrick Cars. Is that Hendrick Cars on the hood? Looks like it. No, it's not. Nonetheless.
I think it might be.
It is. It is Hendrick Cars on the hood of a Toyota truck.
Now, see, it's weird in the NASCAR sense, right? That those things, two things don't go together. But I mean, what Hendrick dealership is local to us, Christian?
Yeah, they have a used car dealership. They have all the cars.
As holy smokes, look at Colin Fanbro. He is there all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's going to be passing, poking his nose on the inside through turns 3 and 4. Of course, Brochu going to have the run out of the turn here on the high side. But Colin Fanbro's not going to be denied. And usually the top line just drives away, but Colin's there and saying, "You are not getting rid of me, Mr. Brochu. I want the lead, and you're going to give it to me."
We've got the HMS TV pit strategy board pulled up, and Brochu, his tires are only 2 laps older than Colin Fanbro's, so there's not a huge tire difference between these two guys. But Fanbro just has it right now. He has the long run speed compared to the 98, who's coming down pit road all of a sudden. He's coming down pit road as well as the 32 of Calhoun. I mean, Calhoun was the one that bit super early last time around, so I kind of had a feeling. And Chad White's coming down now? Is there something
Well, I
we
guess.
missed?
Well, I mean, it is possible to stay out. I mean, I know there was tire wear, but was it enough to justify not trying to take that 50-lap gamble?
Well, I'm showing it to you here on the screen. You see the 4 of Fanbro, he made it 51 laps before he came down in pit last time. Chad White was one of the drivers that had made it down. He just now pit, of course, on lap 75, but he was one of the drivers that stayed out the longest, and he's coming down again. So maybe they just didn't get the tanks full their first time around, but I would have thought they had enough fuel to make it to the end.
Well, one thing's for sure, if Colin Fanbro has to pit, he's not going to be able to catch Sam Brochu, who's now going to be on fresh tires, ripping it around the track. But I just think a mile and a half track that Charlotte is, you're not going to have an entire lap that you lost now for pitting a fall off.
It's definitely very, very confusing to me as you see Brochu now on the back stretch. Fanbro coming out of turn 4. I mean, Brochu's going to basically have to come around 1.5 times past Fanbro once just to get his lap back and then catch him all the way around again. It's going to be impossible in 22 laps. So very confusing, the pit strategy here. I could have swore these guys were going to be able to make it on one stop, and then all of a sudden they're coming down pit road again. The 9 of Bondurant just came down. So it's not unique to only a few drivers. Now we're on to about 5 of them that have come down for a second pit stop here.
I tell you what, if I was out there, I would not come.
It's hard to do, but I could appreciate the effort there you would give.
Yeah, I wouldn't come. I mean, I'd stay out for the 50 laps.
It may not be that easy. I mean, something's got to be driving these guys to pit road, and I don't think it's tires. Who knows?
Ooh,
What
as
it
we
could
watched.
be.
Well, we're going to see what Colin Fanbro has to do.
Look how fast Brochu is, though, compared to these folks on old tires. I mean, he just flew around those two guys there on the outside.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's just the speed. I foresee Colin Fanbro staying out. He knows that's his only shot to win now is to stay out. Oh. And a dive to the bottom there. Was the 98.
And I got to ask the question nobody wants to hear. 20 laps to go. We've been clean and green this entire race so far. Do you foresee anything happening that could possibly rack this field back up? Because if so, Sam Brochu back on the lead lap now, so he wouldn't have to worry about getting a wave around or anything if we did have something
that caused this field to get stacked back up?
Well, let me just get the crystal ball out. I'm going to look ahead into the future. Jesse, give me your head real quick. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
A couple laps to go. There's definitely going to be some trouble about. I see it in the crystal ball that is Jesse's head.
Whenever
Oh, my. And
Go ahead.
over in the Superstar ARCA Cup Series, somebody just died. Stay tuned. I'm going to let you know who it is, but we have had a massive rollover over at Michigan. There has been a casualty at Michigan live here on Hutchinson Sports TV.
That is
2 casualties. Jimmy Kickus is dead. We're going to see who else died. Somebody went barrel rolling in Michigan.
We'll have to stay tuned for that one, folks. Don't go anywhere to check it out, as this thing's getting close to the wire. Depending on which race finishes first, we'll be sending you to the other one. Mark Whitley made his way up into the 2nd spot now, getting by Ed Robertson.
Jesse, I know you've raced with him for years. This is by far the hardest news that I've had to tell you. You've lost your buddy, Bryce Barfield. He's dead.
Oh my. That's terrible.
Anyway, Colin Fambro leading the way here at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. We don't care if someone dies in that race, it ain't our race.
That's one of the ways to put it of all time.
Let's take a look at Mark Whitley's lap times here. Is he gaining anything on our leader? And you can look at that. His last lap compared to the leader's last lap, virtually identical. Let's see about this time around.
Well, one more time with 15 laps to go. Christian Taylor going to head over to Michigan. I'll be back for the close of this one, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, good luck and Godspeed. Go ahead and help out where you can with the cleanup, and we're going to keep you locked into here. We're going to go break free the rest of the way, as this racing's just been too good with 15 laps to go. If this thing stays clean and green, it'll be over before we know it. Week 1 of the playoffs going to wrap up just like that, with some interesting pit strategy to boot, because there's several drivers that are trying to stay out, and there's a handful of them that have come down pit road for reasons potentially unknown. Might have to do some research after this race and see what could have driven some of these guys to come down and take an extra pit stop that we did not foresee them needing. We hop back and take a look here at this group of trucks. Sam Brochu, he's trying to march his way back forward. We take a look at the fastest 5 for 5. Justin Bondurant leads that list, actually, but Sam Brochu there at number 2 on the fastest last 5 laps. Last time around specifically, it was Bondurant, Lukens, Martin, Brochu, and Calhoun, your fastest 5 trucks on the track. A refresh on your hard charges of the night. Matt Tilder leads the list now with 11 spots gained. He is up in the 8th spot now, up 11 spots. Cedric Ingram with 7 gained. Colin Fambro, your leader, with 6. Steve Tucker also up 6 spots, as well as Ed Robertson with 5. He is in 3rd now. With 10 laps to go, 77 Mark Whitley actually is slowly and ever so slightly gaining on your leader in the 4 truck, Colin Fambro. Bit by bit, he is catching him about a 1/10.5 quicker last time around. Ed Robertson holding down that 3rd spot, a little bit slower than the driver in 4th, Garrett Grant. With 10 to go, if Whitley can find something here, this race may not be over just yet. But he does have some work to do. Almost the lead is now over a second. Fambro, Whitley, Robertson, Grant, and Signs make your top 5. Tristan Lattiser, Ben Pierce, Matt Telder, Jason Dalton, Jared Ray Hutton round out your top 10 as we got a battle for the 6th spot between the 14 of Ben Pierce and the 92 of Tristan Lattiser. 92 of Lattiser is getting a little squirrely there, getting onto the back stretch. These tires are getting old and worn. Most of these guys about 40 laps or so on their tires right now. So definitely seeing some wears. The 92 is sending that thing, smacking the wall.
Smack that into the wall.
That is beautiful, Christian. Glad you could announce your presence with that, as Ambrosius found his way up into the 10th spot. Still nowhere close to finding his way back to the lead. All the way 15 seconds back from Colin Fambro right now with 7 to go.
Yeah, you know, his last lap time was 31.2. The leader's last lap, 31.9. So he is flying, but with 7 laps to go, time he is out.
We haven't talked about it yet tonight. Manufacturer leaderboard here at HMS TV. Toyota's leading the way tonight. Colin Fambro driving a Toyota there on your screen in P1, and average throughout the field 9.1 for the Toyotas out of 10 drivers.
Definitely when it comes to NASCAR currently, at least for the 2025 year, Toyota has been the master race. I mean, there's nobody better. Ford's terrible. Chevys, forget about them. Toyota's where it's at.
Yeah, I wouldn't say... For Cup Series, I wouldn't even say it's just Toyota. It's really just Joe Gibbs Racing. So we'll have to see if that continues.
Definitely, as I just got a middle finger from my wife.
Oh, my. That is unfortunate. Well, you can tell her that the Chevys, at least in this race, are still beating the Fords. Ed Robertson in third, driving a Chevy. Average of 14.6 for the Chevys, and Ford, man, the best Ford all the way in the 11th spot is Jared Ray Hutton in that 50. Their average is 19th, not looking good for the Blue Ovals.
Well, you know what they say? They say Ford is first on race day, but I say they lied.
Well, I know there's one of the common abbreviations that people will put for Ford. One of them's not safe for air, so hopefully if you decide to say the other one, we can hear it.
Yep. You know, I'm just gonna, you know, I don't care about the broadcasting rules. You know what they say? It's a
Blizzard.
over rebuilt Dodge.
All right, I'll give that one a pass. That was good.
Yeah, you just gotta censor it when you're trying to say it live.
Man, oh man. 3 laps to go here tonight. Colin Fambro out of Concord, North Carolina leads the way. 24 laps led for the Ford truck tonight, as he's trying to put the one of Steve Tucker a lap down right now. Six more times around for that 4 truck. We're almost to the white flag of this thing. Caution free. Knock on wood, as long as he can get through these next 2 corners and take the white flag. Steve Tucker almost hits him there.
Steve Tucker gives them a kiss. White flag is in the air. Steve Tucker trying to defend his lap. It matters no more. Colin Fambro, one more time around Charlotte Motor Speedway in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. It has been one doozy of a race. Colin, calm it down, man.
You know, if I'm Steve Tucker, I might just fall in there behind the Ford just so I have one last lap to drive around this track, but I get it. Pride's on the line. Fambro out of turn 4 here onto the front stretch. He's going to take the first race in the playoffs here for that 4 truck of Fambro. Your winner here tonight at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Mark Whitley finishes second tonight, playing a spoiler here. A non-playoff driver getting the second place finish. Ed Robertson third, Garrett Grant fourth,
And Diego Sainz brings home a top 5 tonight.
What a race it's been, Jesse.
Yeah, it was
Kind
a
of a
good
quick
race
one.
overall. Definitely flew by. No cautions really can make a race just fly by without even realizing it's over. But we're going to watch the 4 of Colin Fambrough burn it down. Let's get real close up here as the 4 burns it down.
Yeah! As they say for... crap, what's his name? Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins with the assist from Danielle Taylor, my lovely wife, helping me out there.
Shout out to Danielle one time. Gotta ask where was she in the chat. She wasn't out there tonight. Kind of a shame.
No, she didn't watch us. She decided to quit. She's not going to be our race analyst anymore for now. I don't know.
We've got to get her mic'd up one of these days. We need a good pit reporter out there as the 4 of Fambrough continues to celebrate.
Well, I don't know if I could turn the mic up that much for you to be able to hear her, Jesse.
Yeah, we'll be on pit road, and it'll be like 98 of Brochu just took 4 tires.
Oh my goodness. Well, Jesse, I hope she don't hear that one.
All right. Well, we love you, Danielle. And honestly, Christian, if you are ready for it, man, I'm ready for it. Let's go ahead, and if he is in the Discord, I usually let you run these interviews, so you let me know when you're ready to go ahead and talk to good old Ed Robertson, our 3rd place finisher.
Well, as you said, Mr. Ed Robinson, your 3rd place finisher here. Week 11. Is it week 11? I believe it is. Week 11 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Ed, this is Jesse and Christian up at Booth. You got a copy?
10-4, loud and clear.
Welcome in. Come home 3rd here tonight. You've managed to gain 5 positions of where you qualified, and we're pretty fast coming down to the wire. Walk us through that one, and how did it feel out there?
Oh man, this was a wild one for me. I'll be honest. The past couple days coming into tonight, for some reason, I legitimately thought we were road racing on the Roval. So I log in to the server tonight. Lo and behold, we're just making left turns, much to my surprise. Truthfully, just the fact that we stayed green this entire time. Kudos to everybody. That's kind of my strong suits in general, is just those longer green flag runs. I'll be honest, I'm awfully inadequate on fresh tires. I don't know how to push these things to go super fast, make those super Q-lap qualifying runs. So where I start to shine is later in the run, because I was generally so slow and piss poor at the beginning. So it kind of played into my hand of just taking it nice and easy, biding my time. Just through the handful of laps I did through practice, I could tell we're chewing up the right rear. So it was just nice, easy throughout the first half of the run, and kind of just see where everyone else fell around me. And sure enough, people kind of went a little too hard, or just you get that one little slip of the right rear, get a little loose that one time, and that thing's angry at you for the rest of the run. So it was just, nice and easy, steady pace, kind of just running my own race, not focusing on lap times or what the other guys in front of me were really doing. And yeah, man, just kind of put it all together for once.
All right, I got one more question before I send it over to Jesse for his question. So Jesse, just go ahead and take over when this is done. You stayed out for that final stint, made the 50-lap stretch. You may or may not know that a good number of people pitted with like 20 laps to go, including a race-dominant Sam Brochu. What was your take on that, and why did you not go in?
To be quite honest, the beginning of the run, yet again, kind of knowing that we're really going to chew up these right rears, and I figured these things would be a handful later on, I kind of had it in my mind. I was going to 2-stop it, kind of split it a little even, do like a 33-66, split it into thirds, so to speak, pit twice and split the race into thirds. But then, 30s came around. I didn't see anybody diving off, and I'm looking at my tools here, and I'm like, oh well, I can go about 52 laps or so on fuel with the way I was running. So I just quickly, like I said, kind of put my head down, took it nice and easy, started to run the bottom a little bit more because I think at that point I started to move up a little bit into the middle and higher lanes. So I knew running low, I'd probably be off throttle a little bit more and really ensure that I can save enough fuel. And I'm like, well, if I don't have to be on pit road, because let's be honest, knowing my luck, I'll easily slide on. I'll spin out trying to get onto pit road. I'll hit the sand barrels at the end of pit road, try to push it too hard. So the less times I can avoid that happening, the better. And I was truly surprised to see Brochu pit 20 to go there. The way he was dominating everything, I thought he knew something we didn't, but Colin stayed out. I saw Garrett Grant stayed out. Whitley was coming hard, and he had the same lap tires I did. So I'm like, you know what? I got good track position. I'll roll with it. If they run me back down, then kudos to them.
Yeah, with the weird pit strategies kind of all over the place. Sam Brochu was one of the guys that he pit, I'd say, pretty early the first pit cycle, and then came down that second time, and I thought maybe that he didn't have enough fuel, and then we had guys come down that we knew should have had enough fuel, and they still pit. Chad White being one of them. He stayed out one of the longest drives, and he still came down pit road a second time. But regardless, I don't want to talk about that. Now, we've got 3 races left in these playoffs. You make a good statement with a podium tonight. We've got the Roval, we got Rockingham, we got Chicagoland. Which one of those are you looking forward to the most, and which one the least?
Definitely no right turns, please. Not very good at that.
Well, I have some bad news for you.
I know. I thought it was this week. What do you call it?
Next week.
Yeah, unfortunately, I misread that one. But hey, it worked out. Let's be honest. Just now actually gives me an incentive to practice for those right turns next week. I'll be honest though, Chicagoland, these mile and a halves where you kind of have to pace yourself. Like I said, the green flag runs, if we can get some nice long green flag runs where you got to pace yourself, maybe take care of your stuff a little bit, that's kind of my bread and butter. So Chicago sounds right up my alley, and looking forward to another solid run there for sure.
Yeah, well, Rockingham, no slouch either. It's a short track that kind of drives like a mile and a half a little bit in my mind, so that should be a fun one as well. But before we send you back down to celebrate that podium, do you have any shout-outs you want to make tonight?
Absolutely. I just can't thank everyone behind this league that puts us on just to give us an opportunity every week to come together and race here throughout the season. Definitely have made a lot of great friends and bonded even better with some of my teammates. Want to thank you guys for putting on an awesome show up there in the broadcast booth. It's always fun to listen back to these broadcasts. And thank Ben for the sweet paint scheme that he painted me a couple weeks ago, and seems to be working. A little bit of good luck, getting some decent finishes out of this paint scheme. So hopefully we can keep that going. But appreciate everybody that puts this on, makes it possible.
All righty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was your third place finisher here tonight at Charlotte, Ed Robertson. Thank you, Ed.
Have a good night.
All righty. What team were you in? I'll send you back down there. All righty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Ed Robertson, we're going to move on to the second place finisher. And unless he's joined, I noticed during the interview, Mark Whitley in that 77 is not in the interview booth. So, Mark, if you're listening, join in.
Just a few more minutes here. We'll find something to chat about. Just real quick, we'll see if he ends up popping in. But, speaking of the Roval with Ed Robertson, what is your personal feelings on the Roval, just in general as a track?
In general of a track, I do enjoy the Roval. I do like that new hairpin that they added in this last year. However, the straightaway, in the middle of it is kind of odd in my opinion now. It kind of lost some of the curve appeal to it, I'll say. But depending on which one they run here, either way, it's going to produce some good racing here in the truck series. And definitely, I mean, we're going to keep an eye out, see if Sam Brochu could ace the road course like we know he can. And who else might be a ringer here in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series?
Yeah, when we went out to, I believe it was Sonoma that we watched a race here, I think. Boy, I could be completely wrong. It's hard to remember over a bit of a long season, but I think we were at Sonoma. I've got to double check now to make sure I'm not going crazy.
It was Sonoma because remember we did it when Blake was on his vacation.
It wasn't even Sonoma, man. It was Lime Rock Park.
Oh, we're both wrong.
Yeah, we were way off, but either way, we did have that one road course on week 3, and from what I remember, it was still a pretty good race between everybody there, but it does not look like we're going to be graced by the presence of the 77 of Mark Whitley. So unfortunately for him, fortunately for us, looks like we're going to have to just skip straight on to the winner tonight, Colin Fambro.
Alrighty, that's right. And Jesse, you just ruined my entire lead up. Just flat out, just go ahead and say the winner, Colin Fambro. I mean, ruined the whole skit, Jesse. I might add.
That's on me. That's my bad.
But Colin, being Jesse ruined it all and ruined your moment. Congratulations on your race win. Of course, this is Jesse Christian up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, guys, I don't have to ruin your moment. You can still have it.
Yeah,
No,
go ahead, Christian.
okay,
Go ahead. Forget everything happened. Start from the beginning.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series, Week 11 at Charlotte, you have your race winner, Colin Fambro. Colin, this is Jesse and Christian up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, boys. Hey, you nailed that, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. You gotta turn it on, man. Turn it on like you did this win here tonight. Stayed out. I don't really know what the others were thinking, cutting that second stint, I'll call it, in half, being everyone pretty much had it to make it. You stayed out. You won the race. Walk us through it.
Yeah, I know. I knew I was going to be good on the long run. That's always my strength as a driver. And Diego had a ton of pace. I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can let me know what happened to him on the pit cycle. But I wanted to. I knew the fuel was tight. I wanted to stay out, an extra lap just to make sure that I gave myself a little bit of a cushion in case we had a green, white, checkered or something like that. I still had enough fuel for that, depending on what the situation would be. But yeah, I mean, came off pit road that second time. I knew that I was going to have a little bit better tires. And then I think Sam just thought his only shot once I got past him was going to be to, pit and try to run me back down that way. So that's the only thing I can think is he wasn't trying to race for second. He was trying to win the race.
All righty. And Jesse, what do you got for our race winner here tonight at Charlotte?
Well, this is your second win on the season and opening the playoffs strong with a win. I mean, there's no better way you could have opened the playoffs, and we'll go ahead and take a look forward. And I asked Ed Robertson the same thing. We got 3 races left on the GLSR season. We've got the Roval next week, and then we've got Rockingham and then Chicagoland to finish it off. Out of those 3 tracks, which one are you looking forward to the most, and which one are you looking forward to the least?
So I'm usually really good at Rockingham and Chicago. I would say my least attractive track to me on the schedule will be next week at the Roval. I'm just not a great road course racer. I'm decent. But the way these guys can manipulate the truck and toss it around, while keeping it under control and keeping the tires on it, is an absolute art form. And it is not one that I, fully possess. So we'll practice and we'll work hard on it and show up next week, and give it our best shot. But, I would say next week is probably the one that is going to give me the most trouble.
Well, I got to say, Ed Robertson did kind of say the same exact thing. He's not looking forward to the right turns either. So it'll be interesting to see who can step up and conquer this same place next week, although with the completely different layout. But I mean, on that note, all I can say, congratulations on opening the playoffs with a win, setting yourself up strong, especially with the fact that Sam Brochu finishing all the way down in ninth. Somebody's got a fighting chance, it seems, to maybe take him down. But before we let you go to go and celebrate and pop some bottles or whatever you're planning on doing, you got any shout outs you want to make tonight before we let you go?
No, just my Team Force Racing guys. Really great teammates. Really fun to race with those guys. Quality, respectful guys on the racetrack, and I just enjoy being around them. And then just want to say thanks to Luke Strayer, our race control. Was sick this week, and he stepped out of the truck and into the tower to handle race control duties for us this week. And just wanted to say a huge thanks to him for making that happen.
All righty. Well, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, your race winner here tonight, Colin Fambro. Thank you, Colin.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
All righty, Jesse, another one has came and gone. Week 11 here in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. We did the Charlotte Oval. Next week, we go to the Roval. Very excited about that myself. How about you?
I always love a good Roval race. It should be interesting to see I'm excited to see if we've got a good couple of competitive trucks that keep it interesting to the end, or if we have another Samuel Van Hoff moment here on HMS TV where somebody just goes out to a crazy lead and we're not really focused on who's in P1. So it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that for sure. A lot of talented drivers here in this field, but it's been a while since we've seen them turn right. So we're going to have to definitely pay attention to that next week.
Well, absolutely. But moving into next week, definitely going to keep an eye on the playoffs. Drivers, Chad White finishing pretty much last of all the playoff drivers here tonight. He's junk. He's slow. He's definitely getting fired by the end of the season.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to ask him post race about that strategy call there out of the 88. Figure out what happened there to cause him to come down pit road. But we'll save that for off the stream. Thank you all for being tuned in. And I definitely appreciate each and every one of you for staying tuned. And I thank you, Christian, for coming and hanging out with us here on these Wednesday nights. Definitely makes it a good time. So much thanks to you for that. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing up. Stay tuned next week for race number 2 of these playoffs. So we don't go anywhere. We stay right here in Charlotte. Just going to be the Roval edition. I don't know if you have an update on Superstar ARCA Cup, if that race is still continuing or not. Do we know, Christian?
That is over, and unfortunately, I do not have the race results handy enough to get there. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, what a race it's been.
Beautiful there out of Christian Taylor. Thank you for that. But stay tuned tomorrow night for the Average Joe's Truck Series here on the channel. And then, of course, if you're interested in running the Dash HMS TV Dash for no cash, where are we going next week? Give me just 2 seconds. I'll be sure to tell you. The Dash for no cash Fridays.
We're going to Indy Road.
Indy Road, multi-class IndyCar GT3s and trucks. Ah, boy, that's gonna be something for sure.
Definitely so. So come on out to the Hudson Motorsports TV, a Dash for no cash Friday night funds, brought to you by the Roads to 5150. Definitely need to check that out. One more thing before we go, ladies and gentlemen. You know you want it. You're tired of running just borderline horrible paints. What you need to do is head on over to harpoondesign.com right now. Click that little red button under the beautiful H logo right there. If you want a NASCAR paint or a dirt car paint, put that order in today. Paint start at only $25. What are you waiting on?
That's a good question. I'm sure there's people out there waiting on us to wrap this stream up. We're kind of rambling, so let's go ahead and wrap this thing up. Make sure you tune in Saturday to the Redemption iRacing Truck Series. Sunday, I don't think we have anything Sunday. MCR just wrapped their season up, so don't come here Sunday. We ain't going to have nothing for you, but Monday's got Flim Dogs Racing Leagues. Tuesday's got Stars and Stripes playoffs, and then Wednesday, as mentioned, back here on the channel for Superstar ARCA Cup and here in the GLSR Mr. Radiator Truck Series. I'm Jesse Baker up here in the booth with Christian Taylor signing out. Until next time, Larry Mack, do me a favor. Go ahead and tell them what they need to do.
I'm Larry McReynolds. Remember, in any type of racing, it's all about execution. So right now, subscribe to Hutchison Motorsports TV today. You know America's crew chief. I would never steer you wrong.
Hutchison Motorsports TV. 42 right there with him. Smokes him. Oh my goodness! Oh! The whole field is junk. It's a parking lot. They door slam each other. Checkered flag in the air. It's gonna be too close to call. Oh, he just got smoked. Oh my goodness! Turned. He got dumped in IMSA racing. Caution is out. Oh! He's dead! Toward each other, Richter Johnson!